Hello everyone and welcome back to Bitcoin Tips. So today I'm going to be going over basically a quick overview of what mining is and what it kind of consists of for beginners. So before we get into the video today, I do want to let you know all of the links to the sites that I use and show in this site will be down in the description below if you'd like to check out any of this information for yourself. And also down below is a link to my Discord. If you're interested in checking that out, it's a great place to learn about all things cryptocurrency, whether you're new or experienced. So check that out down below. I've also noticed a large number of you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to receive post notifications for whenever we upload a video here for you on Bitcoin Tips. And finally, before we jump into the video, I do want to say a huge thank you to my two members here on Bitcoin Tips, Brad Briers and James P. Thank you very much. Your membership is greatly appreciated. So if you'd like to become a paid member, check out the join button right next to the subscribe button. So let's get into the video today. So like I said, I'm going to be going over what mining is in pretty much. I'm going to try and make it as simple as possible for the absolute beginner. Pretty much the way I'm kind of looking at this video is you're new to cryptocurrency, you may have heard about mining, the price of all these cryptocurrencies are going up, and you're looking to try and figure out how to get into cryptocurrency, how to mine, and is it even profitable? So there's a lot of information in here. It's going to be a little bit of a longer video, but I do recommend you stick around to the end, especially if you're new to cryptocurrency or cryptocurrency mining. So first off, what is cryptocurrency? What is a Bitcoin? Basically, it is a decentralized currency that has no like US dollars or gold, silver, nothing is backing it. It's all valued based off price, supply, and demand. So it's completely online. There are no physical Bitcoins out in the world, and it's all done through what is called a blockchain. So I'll get a little bit more into what the blockchain is here in a little bit, but basically it is supposed to be completely anonymous, although with newer technology it isn't too hard to figure out where a Bitcoin came from and who sent it, but there are coins past Bitcoin that are a little bit more private, but that would probably be for a different video. But overall, cryptocurrency was made to be anonymous and all online, and basically just kind of the first couple things you really want to know before getting into cryptocurrency mining is how would you go about buying and selling it, because you eventually want to sell your cryptocurrency for some profit. And knowing how to buy it is always good in case you wanted to buy some and hold, because the price will most likely continue to go up in the future. It has currently fallen off quite a bit. It's currently sitting, as you can see, at $30,431.10. So that is a little bit lower. If we do a quick refresh here, you can see it actually went up a little bit there just from when I started the video. So there are a lot of different news articles about why it's fallen off, stuff like that, but price we'll get into in a little bit and how that affects mining. So second thing here is, what is cryptocurrency mining? Pretty much what the miners are doing is they are going to be validating the transactions on the blockchain. So you have to prove that you have that cryptocurrency before you can send it. And that's what the miners are doing. They're checking, hey, did you have one Bitcoin that you sent over to this guy to pay for something? If you do, the transaction goes through successfully. If not, the transaction does not go through and that guy does not get his Bitcoin. That is kind of what prevents fraud or counterfeit Bitcoin, is there's only 21 million in existence, and there's not even 21 million unlocked yet. I believe a lot of predictions say there will not be the full 21 million in circulation until the year 2140. So definitely a really interesting take. But if we switch to the blockchain here, I'm just on blockchain.com. If we switch over to the Explorer, we can take a look here at what some of the Bitcoin blocks are looking like. So as you can see here, these are the latest blocks, their height, how many minutes they were mined ago, and then the miners obviously and the size. These are the latest transactions. So you can see someone just sent 12.3 Bitcoin, which is currently valued at almost $380,000, which is ridiculous. If I had that, I would be doing pretty great, but unfortunately we don't all have almost $400,000, but this is pretty cool. It's all live, and this is what the miners are confirming. So that's really, really cool. that it's all live like this, and you can really be a part of something a little bit bigger. You're helping everybody send and support the network, really. So mining is a really cool way to make some money and really be a part of what could be the next financial revolution in the world. So kind of moving on here to the different types of mining and mining hardware. There are two main types of mining. There is POW, which is proof of work, and POS, which is proof of stake. We're going to be mainly talking about proof of work in this video, which is how Bitcoin is mined, but POS, I did want to just briefly mention, is proof of stake, which basically you are holding a share of the coin, and for that you are validating transactions on the network. The main difference between POS and POW, POS, literally anybody can do it if they have a device that connects to the internet. There are now, even in this day of cryptocurrency, cell phone wallets that allow you to stake cryptocurrency on the network. Whereas POW, you do have to have a lot more powerful computing hardware. So, like I said, POW is probably the more popular, more known about version of mining, but I did want to mention POS very briefly. So, getting into the mining hardware. Basically, you have the three main types of mining hardware are GPUs, graphics processing units, ASIC, application-specific integrated chip, and FPGA, which I'm not sure what FPGA stands for, but basically everyone knows what a GPU looks like, but these are what ASICs look like. We have the Antminers here. Basically, this design is what you're always going to see. It's a big silver tube with fans on both sides and a bunch of little chips inside doing math for you on the algorithm that your ASIC mines on. And the FPGA is probably going to look a little bit more familiar to you. It almost looks like a graphics card, but most of these, if you click on them here, if you can see there are no display outputs. These are cards that are designed specifically for mining. They're not going to give you any graphics output, similar to ASICs, but this is a standalone machine. Pretty much the difference between these ones, an ASIC going to be use a lot of power. Lots and lots of power. A lot of these nowadays require 240 volts. So if you don't have that, if you're in North America, chances are you don't have an extra 240 volts sitting around that you can plug one of these into. Trade-off for that, though, is you get a lot of hash rate in a very small unit. So that's how they're really popular, but and they do have a pretty high cost of getting in. As you can see, one of these is well over $2,000 and even almost $4,000. So very, very expensive to get in. These are very specific. Like I said, application-specific integrated circuit is what ASIC stands for, so it is only going to mine one thing, one algorithm. Now, you can mine different coins, but only the ones on that algorithm, so that's something to think about. FPGA is a little bit more flexible. It's going to use a lot less power. It's going to be a little bit cheaper, but you're also going to get less mining hash rate, which basically, I guess right now is a good time to talk about what hash rate is. Simple rule of hash rate in mining, more is better. The hardware is going to impact this a lot. Like I said, if you get an ASIC card, you're going to be getting 95 terahashes. That's a ton of computing power on the Bitcoin network. Whereas here, this says you're going to be getting about 600 gigabytes per second, or I guess that's gigahash. Oh, that's networking, my bad. Let's see if it says here. It doesn't look like it says straight away what you're going to get on here, but it's going to be less power and less hash rate. But the more hash rate, the more power on the network you have, meaning the more chance you have to find a block. And again, I'll be getting into the blocks in a little bit here as well. And then finally, GPUs are the most common, most accessible, and most residential-friendly way of mining. More GPUs equal more power. There are tons of motherboards out there that are designed to support 6, 12, 13, and I think there's even some that support 20 GPUs off of one motherboard. So you can really make a pretty good mining farm out of just one motherboard, CPU, RAM, and power supply with tons of GPUs, whereas like with these ASICs, you're going to almost need a circuit for the ASIC itself, whereas you could run a decent mining rig off of a regular 120 volt circuit if you're doing it with GPUs. So Definitely, if you're just getting into mining, GPU is probably the way to go. I don't know too much about FPGAs. I've never owned one, and they are a little bit harder to configure. I have owned an ASIC card from Bitmain. Very, very easy to set up and configure, but it's very loud, not very residential friendly, and they create a lot of heat and use a lot of power. So just to briefly mention a few other types of mining hardware, you have your CPU, which isn't too popular anymore unless it's a specific algorithm. You have USB miners, which again are not very popular anymore. And you have storage mining, which is pretty much using your hard drives to mine. I have done storage mining before. It's not super worth it, especially now. Back then, it wasn't even really worth it, but it is something cool to look into if you have a bunch of extra hard drives lying around. So that's kind of what the different kinds of hardware are and the hash rates and all that. Moving on to the next kind of section here is mining services. There is cloud mining out there. Basically, what that is you purchase hash rate from a third party company and they pay you based off that hash rate. Now, these can be unreliable, untrustworthy, and deceivingly good. There are a few cloud mining companies out there that are very trustworthy that have been around for a long time, but the main issue is they're unreliable to where they get to decide if they want to turn off the mining rig for whatever reason, then you just stop earning, and there's nothing you can do. There are a ton of scam cloud mining sites out there that are promising high percentage returns. If you see anything over, I would say even 0.5% a day, that's probably a scam because they can't guarantee a percent. If Bitcoin goes up in price, you're going to earn more that day than you did the day before. If it goes down, you're going to earn less. So they can't guarantee. If you see something offering 10% return on the day, on the month, that's a scam and that's bad. So you want to keep out an eye out for those. But hosting is another mining service. If you did want to get some of these ASIC cards here and didn't want to run them in your residential home, you could see if you have a friend or family, or if there is a company out there that does take shipment of these and then sets it up in a warehouse and runs it. Again, some of the downsides to that is you have to have a trustworthy company, or better yet, family or friends that you trust, because you will be sending your hardware to someone else. You don't want them to steal it, you don't want them to turn it off and start mining on their own pool or their own addresses and stuff like that. It's definitely something that you don't want to just be sending out. And then finally, there are some places where if you were to just go here and Google pre-built mining rig, you can get, help if I could spell it right, but you can get pre-built mining rigs. They are pretty expensive though. As you can see, this one's almost $3,500 for a 12 GPU mining rig. What's nice is it's built, it's together, but you're paying quite a bit. If you're going to get into mining, especially with GPUs, I recommend you figure out how to do it yourself. It's not very different from mining, or I'm sorry, building a gaming computer. You're just building a gaming computer with a lot of GPUs. So that's kind of what I would recommend. And then finally, one other site I did want to talk about, I forgot to pull it up here, is called Mining Rig Rentals. This is a really nice site to check out if you are thinking about getting into mining and kind of want to get an idea of what you might earn. There are literally hundreds and thousands of mining rigs on hundreds of algorithms that you can test out. So if you wanted to, say, mine on, let's see, I was trying to find, I guess I could just do this. SHA-256 is the Bitcoin algorithm. If you wanted to test out an S9, an Antminer S9 here, there's a bunch of them they have pooled together. You can see it's going to cost you this much in Bitcoin for 24 hours of mining, which is the minimum. If we pull up Prev here, you can see you're paying almost $70 for 24 hours, but it's a cool thing. And you can also, if you have a mining rig, do the other end of this. You can start selling your mining rig on here for people to rent. I personally have done this with my mining rig in the past. It's not a bad way to go because the miner does make a little bit more than if they were mining, just because of how you set your price. So it's a nice way to get a little boost every once in a while, so they make it really easy. If you'd like to see a specific video on setting this up, let me know down in the comments below and I can get that done for you guys. So, what impacts your mining profits? That's going to be one of the most important questions you have to ask. Picking the right coin for your hardware. whattomine.com, the site I'm on here now, is great for showing you what you should be mining. So right now, if you had 6 RX 580s, calculate, your most profitable is going to be mining Ethereum using the ETH hash algorithm, and you're going to earn about $13 a day before power. If you switch to the ASIC tab here, and we use this example of the 95 terahash, and I already have the watts calculated here, at 3250. If you calculate that for SHA-256, you can see that your most profitable coin is not actually Bitcoin. It is a coin called Bitcoin SV, which is a fork off of the Bitcoin algorithm. That you're going to be making $19 before power, almost 20. So you can see that choosing the right coin is really important, because if you were mining Bitcoin on this same rig, you'd be earning $19.79 a day. Now, there's not a huge difference, but over time, you probably want to go with the one that's making more. So picking the right coin is definitely really cool, and a really good idea to kind of do some research on. And of course, the mining hardware you have is going to impact this. So the second thing I wanted to talk about is the block size. That is something else that really affects your mining profitability. So looking at Ethereum here, which is a good one to look at because they've had a lot of transactions and stuff over the last few days. The block size of Ethereum, its base is 2 Ethereum. So basically, if you're mining on a pool, which I do have a pool here, this is Slush Pool. This one's for Bitcoin specifically, or the SHA-256 and Zcash, but you're pooling all of your power together with other people's in chance of finding a block faster. Then what they do is they split it apart. So if you had 2 Ethereum on a pool, split between 10 people, everybody's going to get 0.2 of everyone's going to get 0.1 of Ethereum, when they find a block. So the more people on the pool, the less you're going to get, but if you were going to solo mine and you find that block, you're going to get all 2 Ethereum. It's all yours. But solo mining is a lot harder to do. It's generally recommended to mine on a pool if you are looking for consistent, reliable income. Now, I did want to mention solo mining since it is an option out there. I do have a video I just did recently about setting up solo mining for Ethereum, so check that out if you're interested. But the transaction fees is where the real earnings can come in. So with Ethereum right now, as you can see, none of these blocks are 2 coins. They're all 3, 4, 5, and even larger. There's a 6 one here. I've seen them 10, 15, 25 Ethereum per block. That increases the reward, and again is split among all the people in the pool. So if your pool got this one with 6 Ethereum, you were getting a much higher payout than maybe this one down here with only 3.8. So that's definitely really cool that the fees go directly back to the miner. And one other thing I wanted to mention here, again, I forgot to pull it up, is the Bitcoin halving. Now, this does not happen with Ethereum, but every 4 years, Bitcoin halves from what it's at currently. So this happened this year, actually, or in, I believe, May. It went from 12.5 coins to 6.25 every block. So the base right now for Bitcoin is 6.25. Any transaction fees is added onto that. In a few years here, it's going to go down to 3.125. So you're earning half as much as you were the day before, automatically. No matter what transaction fees happen, you're earning half. So that's really, it does suck, but hopefully by then everything's kind of corrected itself and the halving actually makes sense. So that's something again. And then most importantly, what affects your mining profitability is the price of the coin. If the price goes up, you're going to earn more money. If it goes down, you're going to earn less. It's that simple, but really the price on the day-to-day does not affect your mining. It's only important on the day you cash out. If you had been mining Bitcoin for the last 10 years, you would have been making good money, but you would have been making nowhere near the amount that you are making today at the time you were mining, because Bitcoin's so much more expensive. So you can kind of see that the price, it matters, but it doesn't. So that's kind of something to think about. And then, of course, there is the difficulty of the mining. That's basically how hard the math problem is that your computer has to solve, and that is going to go up as more miners join the network. More miners equals more blocks, to more splitting of the block, so you're going to get less, and it's going to be harder to find the block. So the higher amount of difficulty means that the same amount of mining power isn't going to go as far in earning as much coin. So that's kind of another thing that can affect your mining profitability. So I know that was a lot of information. Hopefully it helps some people out there in learning about cryptocurrency and mining. I tried to go over pretty much what I thought was most aspects of cryptocurrency mining at surface level. Like I said, there's a ton of stuff to learn about this, and check out all these links in the description below if you want to read some more about like what Bitcoin halving is and maybe what FPGA cards are a little bit more, and if that's something you're interested in. But if you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. Let me know why you didn't like it down in the comments below. And if you have any questions or comments, again, check out the Discord in the description below. That's a great place to ask questions, get comments answered, or leave a comment down below as well. So please like, share, and subscribe to my Bitcoin Tips YouTube channel to learn more about spending, collecting, earning, and investing different types of cryptocurrencies. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.